What's going on? I'm Nisha,
I'm Caprice.
and this is another installment of Garrett Life Uncensored. Today we want to talk to y'all about something that's a little bit on the
Deeper.
serious side, right? On the deeper side, is we want to touch on trauma and how it affects your current life and ultimately your marriage. One of the things that I realized when we first got together was there was a lot of things that you had to unlearn from your childhood, and what I realized is that, and even in my life, we were raised by broken people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, one of the things that always bothered me, but I didn't really talk about it too much, was that your grandmother made you, I feel like your grandmother made you ashamed of your skin. You know what I'm saying? Of your skin color and stuff like that. And, I didn't really find out till later on why she wanted you with a light-skinned guy. You know what I'm saying? But, I'm glad it was me.
So yeah, my grandmother liked it light-skinned dudes because the skin was lighter, and growing up, that she was like, I don't want to say she was in the slavery days, but she was born in the 1928. Yeah, 1928.
So she thought if you had a child with a brown-skinned dude, the child was gonna come out brown-skinned.
Right. I think she grew up with a lot of racism, so she just preferred a light-skinned dude over darker skinned dude. So it was like, I grew up thinking light skin was pretty, because that's kind of what she told me, that light skin is pretty.
I mean, I'm kind of pretty.
Like, she didn't say brown skin was ugly, but growing up, that's all I knew, that I had to be with a light skinned dude, not knowing that I grew up like looking at only light skinned people because of what she told me.
Right.
Like, what I knew is light skin, so that's what I liked, is light skinned dudes.
That's why I don't like you watching Drake videos, because I knew it was something with it. So
I like Drake though. His music,
Drake is trash.
Great music,
But anyway, anywho, so, but how does that, telling you that light skin is better and you're not light skinned, how does that affect you and your self-esteem, and you know what I'm saying, and how you see yourself?
I don't know, because at the end of the day, she always told me, oh, you're pretty, but then, growing up, you hear you're pretty for a brown skinned girl. I always heard that I was pretty for a brown skinned girl, not knowing, like, what does that even mean? Like, what does you pretty for a brown skinned girl mean? So when I met you and you didn't say that, that was just perfect, because I got sick of hearing that so much. Like, what does that mean? Like, if I wasn't brown skinned, I wouldn't be pretty no more? Like,
nah, that was one of the things that attracted me to you, was your skin color. Your skin looked like it tastes like something. It looked like it tastes like, I don't know, something you want to put on something.
Yeah, like, that's what I grew up knowing. But when I met you, for my grandmother eyes, you was perfect because you was light skinned. I totally agree, that's what she thought. But for me, it wasn't because of your skin color, of course. Like, Of course, I was attracted to you because you light skinned, but I didn't grow up like, oh, I just don't like dark skinned people. Like, black is beautiful at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's one thing about black folks, and even older black folks, is that, I think they've been through so much trauma that they teach you to hate yourself, and not realizing that they doing that, instead of just making you or letting you know that you're great. It's like, yeah, even though she said that you're pretty, even though she might have said, you the smartest or whatever it is, like, that's unconditional coming from grandma, but there's a subtle tone of brown skin is less than light skin. But look, all right, so let's move to the next point though, because what about experiencing love in your household? Like, did you see or experience love between your parents, or was there, something else? Like, for example, and not to cut you off with the question, but for me, everybody in my family drank alcohol. So because of that, I never wanted to drink, because I saw all the guys put their hands on the female. You know what I'm saying? And that was just never my thing. You know what I'm saying? I remember being 6 years old, so I wasn't even 6. I was 3 years old. I remember being 3 years old and seeing my mother's head hit the floor in front of me because the guy she was with had knocked her down or whatever. And, and this was in the apartment. So those old wooden project apartments or whatever, I wasn't supposed to feel a vibration on the floor, so I grew up not liking police officers or specifically correction officers, because then the next guy that she was with was pretty much another police officer. He had a badge, you know what I'm saying? So I thought all people with badges took their problems out on their wives or their females at home. So, my uncle was a cop. I know what he did, you know what I'm saying? God bless him, he passed away, but I know what he did. Then there was other cops in the family and stuff like that. So I come from, directly in the middle. I got the police officers, then I got the other side of the tracks, you know what I'm saying? All in the same family.
I think everyone have a other side of the track family, and but I think it's a thing. Like, most people think that people that's in the army and federal jobs are violent. Like, you hear that a lot.
Yeah, and it might be the case that, they got traumas and stuff like that they're not dealing with, you know what I'm saying, or haven't dealt with. Like, just one thing that I always think about is me growing up where I grew up, knowing about, from teenage years, knowing about people that lost their lives, you know what I'm saying, in the street, like people that I grew up with, people that I played basketball with, we played tag, we went to the beach together, like a lot of them never reached 25. Mm-hmm. That right there is PTSD for somebody to have to grow up in an environment like that. Now you get to your adult years and you try to have a regular life, but you got these thoughts in the back of your head. You knew about the girl down the hall that got molested by her stepfather. You know what I'm saying? And that PTSD won't allow me to give my daughter a bath. You know what I'm saying? Or just really anything. I don't want her in her brother's rooms, you know what I'm saying? Or anything, because, those are things that I know happen. So my answer as a parent is to be overprotective.
My parents was together 18 years, but I never heard anyone say I love you, or I never heard no one expressing their feelings when they was upset. It was no communication. So it was like, when things happen, no one talked about it. So that taught us to just go on and don't worry about it, don't speak about it.
Mm-hmm.
So in a relationship, when we first started talking and stuff, and it was conversations and deep conversations, I was shut down because I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to talk it out or talk through my emotions. When we got together, it took me time and growth to actually learn that type of love and that type of communications with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all because of growing up. I'm the strong one in my family, so it was like, it's okay, just keep going, you'll be all right, don't talk about it. But deep down inside, that was something that still had an effect on my adult relationships, or just being with you, period. It's just different when you don't really deal with it. So, with you, it was like, when we got together and I really learned how to communicate with you, it was better. It got better with me expressing my feelings. Like, I wouldn't go a bit upset, I would speak about it. But we do that now. Like, if it's something that's bothering you, we like, I just gotta say something about it. You're not gonna sit around and be mad for years about it, and then it comes out and I'm like, what are you talking about? It happened 2 years ago or a month ago.
Nah.
And I think that childhood trauma from, just dealing with just not speaking about it. And a lot of Black families, they don't talk about a lot of things that goes on in the family. They just always just
sweep it under the rug.
Right, just sweep it under the rug and just like, oh, just keep going. But it's deep down inside, that's pain for a child. Like, we not gonna talk about it. Like, that's not normal.
No, not at all.
So,
and it's not fair, because it doesn't give everybody a chance to heal. Right. You know what I'm saying? You heal with conversations. It might hurt at first. I remember when I first started going to therapy when my mother passed, it was difficult. It was like, I think I cried the whole 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she asked me 3 questions and that was it. I was just torn up, but I had to go through that process to reach some kind of understanding. You know, once that Band-Aid comes off, now the healing starts.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and I think that's why, you know, what I love about our relationship is that when we say we don't argue, it's because we communicate very well, because we understand, you know, that part of our relationship where it's communication. It's not, it don't have to be argument. And I don't like to argue anyway, because I grew up with argument and confusion. And so it's like, that's another thing that it just shuts you down. Like, you don't, it brings you back to that childhood where you sitting there in the closet listening to your parents argue. You know, it's not safe. It just don't feel normal.
Yeah, that's the word. It don't feel safe.
Like, right, it don't. You know, and then they just act like it didn't happen. Like, oh no, like we heard everything. Like, what was that about?
Right. I mean, yeah, that's true. Communication is very important. I mean, I know a lot of people always talking about, you know, how y'all been together for, you know, 60, 70 years or whatever, you know, and people usually answer, you got to communicate, you got to talk about stuff, you got to talk through it, you got to talk it out. And that's real. Like you said, I don't like the whole, with you, I don't like to hold anything in, you know what I'm saying? Because when you hold it in, you hold on to resentment, you know what I'm saying? And it might not even be, 9 times out of 10, it's not even what I thought. You know what I'm saying? It might have just been mixed with me having a bad day at work, or me being, you know, annoyed with the kids, or me having to deal with traffic, or me just being frustrated with me.
That's like when we first got together, and I used to be like, you take a long time to text back. But in my head, I'm thinking, dang, is he gonna leave? Like, why you taking so long to text me back? What is he doing? You get frustrated because you taking too long to text back, and it's really nothing like that. But
I might have been on the toilet.
It took too long. Angry, like you're mad about it. But you know, come and realize, like, oh no, he's not going nowhere. But that was my fear in the beginning. Like, oh, he's going to leave. He's not going to be here for long, because I was taught that. I don't say I was taught. It's just
that's what I learned.
Knew. Yeah, I knew, like, oh, people that love you leave. You know, being that I lost someone that's close to me at a young age, like my mother. And I know she loved me, but I knew she left, you know?
Now, you were saying something before, too, about having that argument, you know, arguing or whatever. Another reason why you don't like to argue is because y'all had the argument and
then she passed.
So tell me about that.
I mean, like, mother and daughter argue, but it's like what I remember is us arguing or having some type of disagreement about something. And I think maybe 5 days later, that was it. I never heard from her no more. And then come to find out, she had passed. So it's like, for me, I don't take nothing for granted. I don't want to lose a moment with you. I don't want to lose a moment arguing with you over something that's probably nothing, something so small, when I could just communicate with you and tell you what was wrong, you know? But that was another thing that was hard for me. Like I said, being that we didn't communicate. So when I met you, and you was a talker, and you was you know, I got to explain stuff, and you know, you was able to express those. I had to learn to do that, and now I'm able to.
Yeah, so that's why, you know, the way we are with the kids is like, we don't want them to experience arguing or whatever, you know what I'm saying, the way we did.
Or no one else. Like, I don't want anyone else to bring their issues in my house, and they're arguing and fighting. My kids have never seen us argue or fight.
Right. So exactly.
We're not about to have anyone around them that, you know, do that. They're not staying at nobody's house that argue all the time.
I wonder how they would act if we fake the argument. I wonder how they would act. Like,
they probably would cry.
Because they've never seen us, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, now, it's a difference between disagreeing and arguing. Like, there's no going back and forth trying to insult you, and, you know, you insulting me, and we assassinating each other's characters, and we blaming and you know, trying to gain a point on the board or whatever. Like, it's nothing like that. Now, we can disagree on stuff, you know what I'm saying, which we do time to time, but, you know, it's never a point where it should turn into hurt. You know what I mean? The goal should never be to hurt you. You know what I mean? If that's the case, you could have stayed in the past trauma. You know, it's important to me that my daughter sees, and my sons, it's important that they see me every day. They see me come home every day. Every morning when they wake up, they know I'm gone. And they know when I'm gone because I'm going to work. You know what I mean? I remember times of waking up when I was spending the night at my mother's house or whatever, because you know I live with my grandmother. But I was spending the night at my mother's house, and my mother would be mad because my stepfather got paid on Friday and didn't come home Friday, Saturday, and then he might come home Sunday night. Or he might spend the night at his brother's house or wherever he was spending the night and go to work from there. You know what I mean? That's something I never want my kids to see. I never want them to think that that's normal. And I don't want you walking around hurting and not wanting to talk about it. Like I said, hurt is never the goal.
But what's important, like with us, like we still healing together. You know, we still learning every day about, you know, stuff that we do that we realize that it was from the childhood trauma that we dealt with that we never really realized in our adult relationships, you know.
Whether you realize it or not, and I probably never told you this, but you like my medicine. You know what I'm saying? Like all the stuff that I have in my mind that I walk around with or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like this is my finish line right here. Like I always gotta, whatever I gotta go do, you know what I'm saying? If you can't go with me or whatever, this is where I wanna end up, you know what I'm saying? By the end of my night, you know what I'm saying? I don't care how long it take me to get back. This is where I need to be with us.
But we always say we each other peace, you know, we feel like home with us from day one, you know. It always felt safe, you know, here.
Safe.
Right.
Yeah, safe is a big word.
Right. I think it felt very safe, you know.
It always felt like ours.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this life is crazy. Like God chose to give this to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. And I hate that our parents are not here to, you know, our mothers are not here to see it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, see like, look, Mom, we turned out great. Right. You know, like that. But yeah. But anyway, so we went kind of deep on that. I think that was pretty good. Hopefully that'll help somebody. You know, till next time.
Right.
What was you saying?
I said hopefully it helps somebody that's also dealing with it, and maybe we can help by our experience.
Right. All they got to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. It don't cost them nothing to hit the button. Just hit the button.
Right. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah, we can talk more about it. They can leave something in the comments or whatever if they want to hear, you know, how we handle a certain situation. It'll be easy. That's all they got to do. Hit the button, leave a comment, share this with somebody. You might want to share this with your mother. You know what I mean? But anyway, that was good.